What is his? I don't think I've. All right, got it. We're good.
Okay, I'll shut up now.
It's your show. Welcome,
No, it's
welcome,
Scott's
welcome
show.
to alternative real estate investing
I'm in
strategies
mourning
meeting
right now. I gotta go put on
for
all black.
January. I'm drinking a Scotch ale right now, so
Oh,
There you go. Yeah, okay. All right. Yes, Joe asked me if I could run the meeting tonight because he's busy throwing dollar bills in his fireplace. He told me how cold it is there, so he's having to heat with dollar bills. So I just told him back up another Brinks truck. You know, they'll bring the alternative one to you. So,
God.
but yeah. So, welcome everyone. We have a good amount of participants. I'm excited about that. And this is the FFREIA Alternatives Group, Freedom First Real Estate Investors Association. We're the Rochester branch. And REIA is a national organization. So if you travel around the country, like me, you can go to different REIA meetings. You should be able to go for free too. They'll let you come as a guest. And once you're a paid member of FFREIA. But we're the alternatives part. We talk about how to make money in real estate in ways other than landlording. We will let questions and topics go towards landlording, but we really want to try to get off those as soon as possible, only because there's another meeting that meets every other 2 weeks that you can talk about all the landlording that you want. We will talk a little bit tonight about some things that are happening to landlords, because honestly, it impacts the whole market, the Rochester market, Monroe County market, and you know, the market around the world, because there's a lot of international investors that come into Rochester and invest and buy real estate. So, and some of the things happening, Joe and I were talking about earlier, do have an impact on the real estate market there. But welcome. We're glad you're all here. I know there's 100 other places you could be right now, but we're glad you're here. We share information. That's what we do. We jump on the call, we ask questions, answer questions. Diverse group here, from people with hundreds of units, people who are just starting out, like this is their first time looking at real estate, and you're all welcome. We're glad you're here. What we like to do, we kind of break this down in some different parts. And what it is on the first part, we're going to do introductions. If you're new to the call, or maybe this is like your second call, we want you to introduce yourselves. We want the vendor members to introduce themselves too. Vendor members are what keeps FFREIA going. They tend to be businesses that are involved in real estate and are also vendor members of FFREIA. And for the most part, if you do business with them, you know you're in pretty good hands. And then what we'll do after that is we'll do have needs wants. At that point in the meeting, you'll talk about things that you're looking for. If you're looking for a certain type of property, or you have a property that you're selling, or if you're looking for a contractor, that's when we bring up have needs wants. It's not really the question and answer period, but it's a have needs wants. And then what we might do, we might break into breakout rooms. If you've never done it before, it's a lot of fun. It's a good way to get to know a couple other people a little more intimately and talk about yourself and what you have going on. And then we kind of finish it up with questions and answers. Let people ask questions, and you know, that's what it's all about. We all were new. No question is a dumb question. We all were new at one point, and honestly, I learn every time somebody asks a question. I always learn on.
all right. Well, thanks, Scott.
I'm gonna let vendor call on the phone when she's on his Zoom meeting, but yeah. So I see at least one vendor member on here.
Jamie Francis is one also, if he's still on.
All right.
He's our PPG Glidden guy.
Okay, great. So we'll have Colleen go first. Go ahead, Colleen. If you've never done business with Colleen, you're in real estate, you really need to connect with her. I've done a lot of business with her, and she's done good by me. So go ahead,
Hi,
Colleen.
guys. Colleen Bracci, Remax Realty Group, CB Real Estate Team. We primarily focus on investment property. We do everything, but a great deal of it is investment property. And that's why I come to these meetings all the time, because I learn something new every time I get on them. So if I can help anybody with anything, just feel free to give me a shout.
Okay. Now here's the $2,400 question. We are almost 3 weeks in to January. How many closings do you have?
How many sales or how many closings have I had this
Okay,
week?
well, let's
Or
do
this month?
sales. How about sales?
Okay. We have signed, as of this morning, 21 deals since January 1st. I am currently working on a package of 8 right now, so it'll be 29 by the end of tomorrow. So we're happy. One a
You're ahead-
day. is
you're
what
ahead
we
of
shoot
schedule.
for. Yep.
Good job,
Mhm.
Colleen. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. We like it.
Absolutely.
And for closings, I don't even know how many closings we've had. I went into the year with 50 pending closings. And it seems like the attorneys just snapped to attention as soon as the first came, and everything's been closing. Things have been closing without me even knowing they were closing. So that's always
Good.
nice.
Great
Awesome.
news. All right. And Andy, do you see any other vendor members on here?
Well, there's you, there's Joe, there's Carl, there's myself. There is Jamie Francis from PPG, if he's got his camera, if he's ready to speak for a second.
Yeah, hi everyone. Sorry, my camera's acting up. So, but my name is Jamie Francis. As you just said, I work for PPG, which covers also Glidden paints and Olympic stains. My area is all of the Rochester area Home Depots. Home Depot is my account. As I'm sure you're all dealing with, Andy, you had said you've got some appliances that were on delay. Everybody's dealing with the same thing. We're much the same with trying to get hold of products. So it's just an industry-wide big issue at the time, as is shouldn't be of no shock to any of you. So what I can tell you all is in February, you will see price increases across the entire paint industry from every vendor, anywhere as I've heard from 10% up to over 15% on products, depending on the vendor. Just a little information for you folks, but we're trying to strategize and do a better job tying in with the pro members at all the Home Depots, and we're trying to come up with the delivery system for you folks, so you don't have to be running to go get paint and things like that. You've certainly got better things to do here with you and your contractors. So I appreciate the time, and as always, I enjoy these meetings and look forward to learning a little more every time.
Thanks, Jamie. Appreciate it.
It's Scott. I have a quick question for you. Do you guys have any current promos going on? And can you explain the delivery thing again? To me, it's something that's vitally important. I'd like to hear that again. So do you have any promos going on? And then tell us about the delivery service again.
Sure. So what we're working on, and it's not completely in place, is we found and heard from plenty of people that they buy their paint through the Home Depot stores, except for they don't offer delivery. PPG in Rochester, we have one main store downtown. They offer delivery, but they're a separate entity. What we've done is the store downtown actually has the exact same tint machine as Home Depot. So you walk into a Home Depot or you call up your pro desk and place an order. Anything of 25 gallons or larger that's placed, that either the store, Home Depot, or the store downtown will tint it, and they will deliver it to you. It's something that's supposed to go into effect in February, but just yesterday, again, problems with getting everything together. They're set to go. However, they have no van to deliver because trying to get a new van is not exactly an easy task, I guess. So I've been telling all of my stores that if you have a customer that needs paint, I have a company car. I have no problem throwing paint in my car and bringing it to you. Like I said, it's my job. You folks have certainly much better things to be doing than trying to go get paint.
That's
Did that
awesome.
answer your question, Scott?
Yep.
Oh, and you asked about promotions as well. What was interesting was this week, it was brought to our attention that Home Depot through the 23rd has 25% off sale on specific Glidden paints that they have in store only. It's 5-gallon containers. It's the Glidden Premium to be exact. But if you have a pro member in your Home Depot store, the most you're going to get off for a discount is 20% as you get through through being a member of this organization. So worst case scenario, get an extra 5% off. So if you do need paint, it's certainly worth taking advantage of. I say all of us PBG employees just found out about it end of the day Monday. So we never got any advance notice, unfortunately. So it's kind of been a run and try to catch up now. But that's the only one that I'm aware of going on, and the only one that our upper management is aware of that is going on and upcoming. But there should be more stuff coming up in February there with release of products and such. They're still bringing them into the store. So we just had a meeting about that. So I should know something later February of things coming up for you, and certainly we'll address that in a future meeting.
Awesome. Thanks, Jamie. For those of you who don't know, Jamie is a longtime Hadlocks guy. So if you've used Hadlocks or you're familiar with the paints they carry, he can talk to you sticks and stones about what lines up PPG wise and what doesn't, and find you a replacement product, and you could start taking advantage of some of that pricing. Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks, Annie. Yep.
Thanks, Jamie. All right. I know I'm a vendor member. I do self-storage. I have a number of self-storage facilities across the country. Business has been very good for me. I'm aligning myself with some really smart partners, and one of them happens to be on this call. So I have a little bit of news for him. So I know he's dying to hear what I have to say. I'll tell him later. So
God, you're killing me.
uh-huh. So, all right, I'll tell him. Who did I talk to today, Gabe?
Tell me you talked to Tony the Tiger.
I talked to Tony the Tiger. I have his attorney's name and phone number. That deal is locked in, buddy.
Yes, yes. I love you like a fat kid loves cake. Oh my God, yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
dude,
Made the
all
phone
right.
call. So,
Tell everybody what it is, Scott.
I'll let Gabe tell what it is.
I don't remember. It's been so long. This guy in what state is it in? Arkansas?
Alabama.
No, really?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me look it up right. I can tell you right here. Alabama. Yeah, Alabama. Gadsden, Alabama.
Mhm.
This guy is like 70 something years old, I think, or in his 70s. And I've been on him since August, I think, like to get a contract. And he's been like dragging and dragging and dragging. And then he tells me it's Scott, they had someone else in front of me to buy the place. That never went through. We've been trying like we got a contract to him, and he never signed that. And then he's giving us all this runaround. And should I tell him details, Scott, like how much and stuff, or it's up to you?
Well, put it this way. The wholesale fee on this one is going to probably be around $60,000 plus.
And by the way,
What?
tell people what it is. They don't know. They don't know what he's talking about.
Oh, storage.
Self-storage. Yep. And yeah, Gadsden, I've never even heard of Gadsden, Alabama. And when we drove cross country, we actually stopped there at the facility. I took my picture outside the facility and sent it to the owner and said, look, I'm here to buy your facility. Let's go. And he got a kick out of that. And but yeah, that one, we're probably gonna be looking to sell that one for probably about $200,000 roughly. So you can do the math real quick. So Gabe and I still have to talk about that one, but no, it's a great deal. Gabe has been burning up the phones. He's just been doing an awesome job, and I knew he wanted me to call him earlier, but I wasn't going to. I'd rather tell him on this. So
Yeah, we have a lot to unpack. So better call me tomorrow. I have a lot of stuff today.
okay, and I actually talked to Michael too.
Mike Wagner.
No, Michael, the guy that the realtor kept blowing you off, who owned the facility, United facility. Yep. So,
All right.
good day. All right. Sorry, we're on a tangent.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm a vendor member. Self-storage is my thing. And we travel in an RV, we live in an RV full time. Now, my wife and I, we're in Tucson, Arizona right now. And you could be here with us. You just got to work your ass off for the next 10 years and you can be here. So
What Scott isn't telling you is he sold all of his stuff in Rochester, and including his house and all of his personal belongings, moved into the RV, retired, and is now a traveling and full-time investor. Retired.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but, yep. And Joe, you're a vendor member too. Go ahead, Joe.
I do a little bit of everything, I guess. Wholesaling, buying, fix, flip, commercial, residential. I want to get into and looking for storage. Still doing the residential, and if the numbers work, I look at it and we're in.
If you don't know Joe's face, just drive down and look for billboards. They're bright yellow.
Oh God.
I swear he's stalking me. He's everywhere.
I told
Everywhere.
Colleen I'm stalking her.
I told him it was bad enough that I see him in my dreams, and now I got to see him every day.
My eyes move, they follow. No.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a pretty cool effect, though.
All right.
Should look into getting on the electric billboard and just have that.
That would be a great idea.
All right. And Andy McQuaid, Mr. Andy McQuaid, you're a vendor member. Let's have it.
I am. So I work, basically I save money for owners and operators of real property. Most of my wheelhouse is multifamily. Most of my wheelhouse is large multifamily, but I've been working with large owners and managers of multifamily real estate since about 2010-ish, and anywhere from 2,000 doors to 35,000 doors. I worked with pretty much every company in Rochester, with very few exceptions. And I left Depot for a year, did something else, opened this company in 2019 after somebody from Conifer, one of their VPs, said you should be doing this full time. And I've been doing this full time since 2019. So I don't sell product. I just sell knowledge and expertise on how to cut costs, cut overhead, and manage your property a little bit more intelligently, so you're wasting less of everything: less labor, less cash, less maintenance, less service calls, put more money to your bottom line. That's it. And Carl's on here, but he hasn't said anything yet.
Yeah, I have a question for Andy. So if I have a self-storage facility, I'm going to expand on, and let's say I'm going to add 20,000 square feet. Is that something that you would help with, or not really in your wheelhouse?
Not really in my wheelhouse. I don't really do a lot with new construction unless it's longer term cost reduction type of stuff, like buy and hold or build and hold. So for self-storage and just general commercial construction, it's usually a race to the bottom. You'll get 15 different guys bidding on a project, throwing the cheapest crap they can at it, and you just kind of cross your fingers and hope they can deliver on what they told you could for the price they told you. And I don't participate in the race to the bottom. So
Okay.
definitely not my wheelhouse. Even though I'm on the board over at the Rochester Home Builders, I don't work with probably 90% of them. If they do multifamily, I work with them. If they don't, I don't really help them out at all.
Okay.
So,
All right. Cool. Thanks. And Carl Weeks, another vendor member. Go ahead, Carl.
Yeah. Good to see you there, Scott, with a little face going on. But anyways,
Be like you,
so
Carl.
so next Thursday night is our next support group meeting with Beth and I will be going over screening tenants in this new world that we're in right now in terms of all the laws changing and everything going on. It's crazy. But anyways, what I do, I like to work with new investors, people trying to get into the market. I'm available for pre-purchase consulting and for small properties. And what that does is that we analyze the income and expenses of a property to see if in fact your numbers work to make a deal work. And so I work with that for in particular new folks. I kind of like doing that. And so that's what I do. And also I'm available for, if you're a FFREIA member, anytime you have a management question or any kind of a you're stuck and you want to call somebody, I'm available for that. So, and I'll put my phone number in the chat box.
Did we lose
Great,
Scott?
thanks.
Oh, there.
Okay. Any other vendor members? I think that covered them all that we have on here, right, Andy?
I do believe you are correct, sir.
Okay, good. All right. At this point, new people who are new on the phone on this meeting, maybe this is your first alternatives meeting or second one. If you could introduce yourself, we'd like to know who you are, where you live, and where you're at in real estate.
This is my second call. My name is Allison Russell. I'm originally from Cato, but I live in Los Angeles, and my husband and I are just starting to get we're getting ready to make our first couple of purchases. So.
Welcome, Allison. And now these purchases going to be in Rochester that you're looking to buy?
Yeah, we're looking to buy one in Rochester and one in Syracuse.
Okay, excellent. All righty. Who else? Who else is new on the call?
Hi there. I'm Angela. I'm super early in this journey. I got pre-approved for a mortgage, like literally as I was signing on to this phone call. So I'm looking to purchase my first house and my first duplex. I'm just very excited to kind of learn and listen in to everyone here.
Excellent. Now your first house, and it's a duplex you're buying?
That's my hope.
All right. All right. Congratulations. That's awesome. And now you're going to live in one side, rent the other one out. Is that the plan?
Yep, that is the plan.
That's probably the smartest thing, in my opinion. It's one of the smartest things you can do.
Yeah, the math makes a lot of sense, especially here in Rochester, I think.
Yep. And with capital gains and all that, you can sell that and you don't pay any capital gains because you're living there, and you can move on up if you want. So, or keep that one and buy another one, do it again, your owner occupant. So good idea. Great. Welcome, Angela.
Thank you.
Yep. Let's see. Who else is here new?
I'm trying to set up because freezing.
Amy, holy crap!
Hi.
Long time. How you been?
I'm all right. Do you guys still? I guess you don't have your monthly meetings or your weekly Zooms no more, or monthly.
Oh,
Zooms.
Jamie hasn't done those in God knows how long.
Yeah, and I see they speaking. I see they kind of continue the stay as long as you want landlord issues in upstate New York. But long time no see to everyone. Probably almost a year. Happy New Year's, happy holidays. I finally am trying to get a tenant who wants, because literally for over a year, I've only had two. I'm in a small landlord, and I live in one of the units, and I have 3 other units. And basically from mid 2020 to like now, I had one unit always having something going on. So finally, I've got someone moving into this unit, hopefully within a week or so. But it's like another agency, so hopefully they don't cause us many problems. But with that, I'm still trying to turn my garage into like a accessory dwelling unit or some type of little office where I can move in there and rent out this current apartment I'm in. And I see that New York State has allow accessory dwelling units now. I know in California, and I think some people said they're in California. They have agencies and organizations that will literally pay you $200 a month or so much to turn your garage or something in your back to build an accessory dwelling unit in your backyard. So do they have any type of grants or programs in upstate New York or anywhere in New York to do that?
I don't think so yet. ADUs are still kind of scary. If we saw them, they'd be probably municipality driven. So it would be like New York City would do it first in the boroughs and Long Island. That's how they started in Washington State and California. They both started as like little regional things driven by city and county governments, and the state signed on later. There's a bunch of them happening in Colorado. There's a bunch of them happening in Nevada, Arizona. They are moving into the Northeast, but it seems to be a lot harder to get ADUs to get accepted up here for a bunch of reasons. But I think eventually you'll see something, but it'll be city driven. So, Albany may be first. Wouldn't surprise me if Albany's not first. Syracuse could be.
So you haven't really because got accepted. Seemed like based on some article in January or early last year, but I guess since it got accepted in legislature, no one has really started to do them.
I don't know that they actually finished passing it, honestly, at a state level, but I think that they're pushing for it to address the housing shortage. The focus shifted on during COVID to all of the evictions and rent controls and good cause eviction and all that. So they have other things on their plate right now.
Well, if anyone's interested in helping me or working with me, I'll leave my info as well.
All right, thank you. Who else? We got anybody else new on here?
Yeah, my name is Heather DeLeese. I'm actually here with my husband, Bob. We're at a point in our life where we're ready to start investing into real estate and play the long game. So we have some passive income that will be available when we're ready to retire. And we're just here so that we can learn and hopefully absorb all your knowledge. So thank you.
Thanks, we're glad you're here. How about anybody else? Anybody else new?
I'm a next new guy. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you, Rohan.
Oh yeah, so I'm an investor and today is my first day. So I have a property for sale. So I'm just here just learning and understanding. Joe had invited me to the program today. So I'm just watching and learning and just getting knowledge from y'all. So I do have a property that I want to put on a contract for wholesaling also too. So I'm just, just learning.
Okay.
Awesome. Welcome.
Great. Let's remember to circle back around to that one when it comes to have needs, wants, or questions and answers. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else new on this? All right. We have a Galaxy 20 plus 5G. Who's that?
I think the last time it was Shamar, but I don't know if it still is. It's been a while.
Shy person.
All right. Let's see here.
Yeah, I saw his face. That's Jamel, if I remember correctly.
Okay. All righty. Well, thanks, everybody.
By the way, I'm trying to sign in with my desktop as well, which is easier to see, but it's another laptop. So.
Okay, we'll let you in when you hit it. Thanks.
All right. Okay, good. All righty. And
it looks like Peter Ross is unmuted and turned his camera on, but I don't hear him saying anything. I'm not sure if he's, I don't recognize the name, so I'm assuming he's new. There he is.
Me now?
Yep, you're good.
You got me? Okay. Hi, I'm located in Palmyra, New York, and I'm closing on my first duplex this Sunday. So looking forward to it.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Hopefully I'll be able to live in one unit and rent out the other one, almost mortgage free. And I'm looking forward to putting together a team this year of plumbers, electricians, professional kitchen remodels, drywall, paint, flooring. And I'm talking to all these different companies trying to put together a team to flip houses, hopefully successfully this year. So
Awesome. Awesome. Good stuff.
All right. Yeah, let's see. Welcome. That's good. I'm real excited to hear people, buying duplexes, living on one side, renting the other side out. I wish somebody would have told me to do that 20 years or 40 years ago. So, but no, I think that's a great idea. I tell my kids that's what they should be doing. So that's what they're looking to do. So very cool. All right. And let's see. And that, Leon, you got anything you want to say before we go to have needs wants?
Of course, I always have things.
All right.
So 2 items. We just had our first in-person general meeting at DaVinci's in January, and things went relatively well. I'll meet with the board and officers tomorrow to talk about what we're going to do there from a long-term perspective. And so hopefully we'll be able to do in person as well as video Zoom type meetings. And so we'll keep you up to date on that. The other key question is what's the next general meeting topic? So I've had a discussion with a couple of people, and one of the individuals that I think is going to be our speaker for the upcoming general meeting in February is going to be Jermaine Barrington Nelson. And he's going to talk about, for people who don't know, Barrington, he basically was started his first adventure, for sake of better words, into real estate investing back many years ago. And several of us that's part of this group was responsible for sort of showing him the ropes, for sake of better words. Right now, he's very, I think successful is the right word, investor in the real estate investing arena. And we talked about a couple of topics that he's going to talk about. And I think where we ended up is that one of the things that he's done is, we talked about the pandemic a little bit earlier. So he basically Barrington has 26 units that he manages. And he, during the pandemic, has not missed one payment from one tenant for the last 2+ years. And so for folks who are thinking about getting into the real estate investing business and they're going to own property, you probably want to be at this session because he's been very successful at doing that. Over the last 6 years, he's only had to evict one person. And so he and I talked about it. We came to a common understanding about what the reasons were for the success. And I think it'd be really great if the folks here are able to come to the meeting or hopefully listen to it on a Zoom call and find out some of his ways of doing business that allows him to be successful.
And by successful, we mean he moved to Portugal for 3 months because he wanted to. Just cause.
What state is he in?
He's here. He's local to Rochester.
Oh, and
He travels all around the world because of real estate, right here from Rochester.
Well, he had dream tenants, obviously.
He was very selective on who and where and why and what he did. And he's very, very diversified in his locations. He doesn't do a lot of C and D areas. Let's put it that way. He's learned, I think, the hard way to avoid certain things.
Bottom line, be there.
Yep, the bottom line is to be there. I think that you will learn a lot. So the Other item, and we're working right now on coming up with a list of all the general meetings that we're gonna have, which is the second Thursday of the month. And so we'll have we talked a little bit about vendors. We'll have a vendor session. We'll have a couple of other things that is, everything is real estate centric. The only thing that's not is, I mean, if you're like Allison and you're over in California, you want to get a chance to meet some folks, you know, you and your husband can take, let's hope COVID, when we get to August, is a distant sort of thing. You can hop on a plane, fly down and come to the picnic. We have a picnic and a holiday party at those same times. And if you come and you bring a guest, it's free. So, you know, that'll take up two of our sessions right there. But we're looking at getting folks to speak about the topics that you are very interested in. And so one of the things that I think we pretty much have, I know we sent out the survey, but the survey is the way that you tell myself and the rest of the board, here's what it is that I want to see. Here are the things that's important to me. And then our job is to make sure we bring that information to you. So another way of saying, please, please, please fill out the survey so that we can address what it is that you want.
Yep. We've got about 65 responses as of right now. And shock of all shocks, number one topic people want to speak about so far, hard money, private money, and creative lending in real estate, not using banks. So it was number one last year. It's still number one. We're going to have to take a look at that one for probably before the picnic, I would bet.
Yeah, we can certainly do that. I know it's for a lot of people when they first start off, it seems like it's a challenge. But once you get it squared away, it's one of those easy things. And you say, why in the world didn't I do this before? And why didn't I understand this before? It's so simple and straightforward. So, but it's an example of what it is we try to do, provide information to you. So, you know, you already know what one of the topics will be. And if I get really, really good, I'll be able to have one of the private lenders come in and tell you a little bit about them and what the criteria is and what they do and what they expect from you.
And
So,
this is at the picnic or in next month's meeting?
it's not, we haven't decided when it's going to be, because what's happening is we're getting input coming back from folks, and that input is driving what we're going to do this year in the way of general meetings. And the picnic and the holiday party takes up 2 of those slots that would normally be there as a general meeting where someone would be presenting. So we may do a little bit of political thing from the standpoint of the picnic and the holiday party by having council politicians from Rochester and from the surrounding areas, and the objective there is to have them understand that these people that they call landlords, who are housing providers, they are flesh and blood, they breathe air too, and you should talk to one of them and get their side of the story. So that's one of our main objectives there. So we want your input so that we can fashion, for sake of better words, the general meetings to meet the needs of our membership. Okay, and the key thing here, please fill out the survey. Please, please, please. Okay, thank you. I give it back over to you, Mr. Scott Spear.
All right.
I have
thanks,
a
man.
question. Is the survey only for members? Because I didn't see any surveys.
If you were not on the website, what we did was we pulled all of the current and past members or people who have signed up for the newsletter from the FFREIA website, and we sent the survey to all of them, and we also included it in the monthly newsletter. If you go sign up, there'll be a link to it in the February newsletter as well. It goes out first week of February, and we'll actually have the link up on the website too, so people can click that and go fill the survey out off the website. It's not there yet, but it'll be there tomorrow. I'll make sure that gets done.
All right, thanks, Andy. Now we go around the room to have needs, wants. If you have a property you're looking to buy, a property you're looking to sell, or if you're looking for a contractor or something like that, bring that up now, and then remember, there'll be time for questions and answers later, but does anybody have any properties or anything they're looking to buy, sell, or looking for a contractor? Go ahead, anybody.
Well, I mentioned I don't know if you just picked, but I am looking for alternative financing or someone to work with me because I want to turn my garage into like somewhere I could live and rent out this apartment. So alternative lending, private lending, or how grants, donations, however, anyway. So yes, I'm looking for that. If someone can point in directions or help.
Okay. Scott, I guess I'll go next. I've got 2 doubles that's over in the 14609 area code or zip code. They're up and running. And can you guys hear me, by the way?
You're good, Joe. We got
okay. Yeah, these are up and running. They need work. They're going to go for $80K each. They need work. ARV somewhere right around anywhere between $135,000 and $145,000. Rents are low. If you're interested, I put my phone number in the chat room under Joe Buys. You can call me. I'll give you more information on it. And then yeah, it's over there by Atlantic Avenue, Culver Road, Sticky Lips area there. Okay. So, and then I think that's all I got for right now. So I think the other one is probably gone. Yeah, that's what I'm also looking to buy stuff in the city, the suburbs, big stuff, small stuff, commercial and residential. Anybody else?
Yep, I'll say something, of course. I'm Gabe. You guys know me, I think. And I'm looking for storage, any size, shape, color, anywhere in the US. I don't care if it's on sale, for sale, whatever. I want it. I want it, period, anywhere in the US. So doesn't matter what it looks like. Just give it to me, please. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'll go next.
Does anybody have no general contractors?
It depends on how good you want them to be and what your schedule and budget is. GCs run a very wide gamut, Leslie, and some of them are good and some of them are not. And right now, the good ones are booked through like March. So it depends on how soon you need them.
I want them to be good, but they don't have to be the best, but I want them to be good because I want good work.
Are you looking for a contractor or a general contractor? Because usually the general contractor is a project manager, and they bring in specialty trades and subs. So they're going to want to use their own plumbers. They're going to want to use their own electrician. They're going to want to use their own painters. Like that's a general contractor.
At union wages too, Andy, right?
No, nobody pays union wages in Rochester.
Yeah.
No, we're not talking about La Chase, and they don't even pay union wages. So anyway.
So Leslie, I have a guy, I can give you his name offline.
Okay, thanks. He is good, right?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said he is good, right? Is he available, do you know?
I'll give you his name. I don't bet.
Anybody else have any ones?
So Scott must have lagged out.
A property for sale is 511 Appleton Street in Rochester, New York, and the owner looking to sell the property. It's a 4-family mansion, and it got 24 rooms, 4 garage, and it do need a little work inside. So that's the needs that I was like looking for. I'm a new investor also.
So you're looking to wholesale it? Like, do you have the contract and you want to pass it, or are you looking to do this yourself, or what's your angle on this particular property?
So I'm a wholesaler. I want to wholesale a property, and but the price they were selling it for was way too high because the area is in and the comp and the ARV and things like that. So I wanted to talk to the owner to bring the price all the way down. So Joe invited me to the video call tonight. So I'm just still learning and
Awesome.
Well, yeah, we had talked earlier about this property. I won't go into all the details, but it's technically a 4-unit right there on West and Appleton. It's nice
correct.
on the outside. It just needs work. It just it's the price on that.
Yeah, they was trying to sell it for $659,000, but there's no way she could have sold it for that price. It was like the ARV and the areas and
And just so that way you know, it's assessed at $49,000.
okay.
And it needs an unbelievable amount of work on the inside.
Woof.
Yeah, so this lady was I don't know, I think she buried like some serious jewelry in the basement or something. I don't know, or plutonium.
Yeah, so
All right.
that's what I have though.
Okay, thanks, Rohan, for sharing.
Thank
I
you.
myself looking for self-storage facilities anywhere across the country. Right now, I just happen to be in Tucson, Arizona. Heading out to California here in a couple months, and then from there we're gonna make our way back to New York. So I can be pretty much anywhere, anytime. Next week I'll actually be in Palm Beach, Florida, for a few days. So if you got something down there, you can let me know. And then let's see, in April I'll be in Las Vegas, and I'll be in California, Las Vegas, and Nashville, Tennessee in April. So that's where I'm at. On the if you're interested in self-storage, there's a big big self-storage seminar in Las Vegas. It's the second week in April. It's a really big event and lots of good vendors there and all that. I think it's ISS, Independent Self-Storage Association is what it is. And I'll be going to that too, so in April.
It's gonna be a busy month for trade shows. IBS and KBIS are happening first week of February down in Orlando also. Good excuse for anybody who wants to have a business trip, but they'll take their kids to Disney.
All right,
Can you hear me now?
Adam, what's up, buddy?
It's
Yeah, we can
amazing.
hear you.
It's amazing you can hear me. I've logged in and out of every which way about 5 times now. So, all right. So it's kind of dark here. I'm actually in Florida right now, about to leave the hotel room. I have an appointment, but I did want to say with Barrington, that's going to be a really good one. I've been talking with Barrington recently, and he's going to be able to put some really good coherent thought and processes, to share as well. And then also all the meetings I think coming up for 2022 are going to be really good, because for so long we've had all the greats, Jim LaBarbera, Scott, and everybody carrying FFREIA. And now that guys, that have went through FFREIA, just for the new people, the guys that have went through FFREIA like myself and Barrington and so many others, and have actually been doing great, are able to come back in and share. And I know Barrington's doing that more now. So this is going to be a really good one with Barrington. And I think all year is going to be really good for the new guys coming in to get so many different viewpoints and different levels of input on what, can help their journeys. So that's all I really need to say, because I got to get out the door. But good to see everybody, and from Florida, where it's nice and kind of warm. It's about 50 degrees, but.
Well, it's 13 here, Adam, and it's nice to see your face. Enjoy your meeting, buddy.
Good to see you, Adam.
And Adam gets the award for the best dress, that's for sure. So
Yeah, great to hear from Adam. Just to follow on a bit with comments that he was making. As most people who know Barrington know, for a while he was almost at every meeting that Freedom First had. And as I indicated earlier, got a lot of, basically pretty much all the information that he's used from a real estate investment and real estate investors' perspective was largely from Freedom First. So when he came back, I think it was on the first month of this call, he basically said, I'm back. He basically said, I'm ready to get really involved. And that was all the input that I needed to make sure that I called him and said, hey, Barrington, remember way back in the very beginning? And we talked a little bit about that. And I said, I want to have you provide us with your knowledge that you've built over the years. And that's how I got into the discussion that we were talking about earlier. A long way of saying, if you know someone that you think would be able to provide us with substance and information that you think is valuable for the organization, just let us know. And if you know anybody who wants to volunteer, including all the folks on this call, to help us make the organization better, I would really appreciate it. So that's it. That's what I have for right now.
All right, thanks, Leon. All
I
right,
don't know if anyone, someone just sent an email from asking for upstate New York homeowners to help with the task force. So I'm just forwarding it. This is from Under One Roof. So I don't know if one of you guys sent it, but I wanted to forward it to anyone since people are calling from all over the country. I'm sure there's other people in upstate New York. I don't know what counties in upstate New York, but I'll definitely be interested in signing up. So I just sent that in the chat.
Okay. Thanks, Amy. This isn't an Under One Roof affiliated meeting. This isn't NICRA. This is FREIA. So we're just a Rochester-based investment group, landlords and property investors. We do have our own local branch of Under One Roof called the Rochester Housing Coalition. That's really involved with county and city government. And then we have board members from FREIA that participate in that. He's not on the call tonight, but Jacob does a lot of work for Under One Roof statewide, as well as for the Rochester Housing Coalition. We've got a few other members of RHC on this call as well. But this isn't an official NICRA anything. They're part of the National Apartment Association. We're part of the National Real Estate Investors Organization. So that's what we got.
So many acronyms. Do you know if they're looking for Albany County in this thing?
I would assume so. If it came from the U of R for the state, they're probably looking for everywhere, would be my guess. So.
and also correct me if I'm wrong, Andy and Leon. Last year we gave a sizable donation to Under One Roof to help them with everything that's going on for landlords and such. The first real estate.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
correct. We what we do is from the standpoint of the membership, and if you look at what it is that those organizations have done, Under One Roof and the Rochester Housing Coalition, we basically look at what is the best way to support them, because our view is that every member of the organization is helped by the things that are being done by those groups. So a lot more local, for sake of better words, than NICRA, but still it's the things that are done that really best represents the needs of our membership. So yeah, I mean, in Under One Roof, I think for the last whatever amount of time that they've been in existence, we've given them sizable donations. Okay, the Rochester Housing Coalition is relatively new, but we will give them a relatively large donation. So what is relatively large? More than $5,000 a year. Okay, and that's typically what we've done in the past, and we do it from the perspective that everything that they do is really helping our membership. Back to you, Scott.
All right, good. Yeah, thanks. And that's one thing, like Leon mentioned, part of your dues that you pay goes towards, helping these events too. So something to think about. All right, cool. All right. What I'm going to do, let's see. Hold on one second. Yeah, let's break it. Andy, can we break into small groups? Can we do breakout rooms? If not, I got something else that we can do.
Yeah, we can make it happen. Let's take a
Okay,
look.
yeah.
How long do you want to do it for? How many people in a room?
Let's do 3 people in a room, and let's do 10 minutes.
Okay, so we're going to do, let's see, there's 23 people, but there's 3 hosts. So we're going to create 5 breakout rooms, and we will start it. Oh, Colleen's dipping. Bye, Colleen.
Yeah, bye, Colleen.
We will start it right now.
Okay. What we're going to do in the breakout room is we're going to break into rooms of 3. Let's go by alphabetical order. Spend like 2 minutes each. Introduce yourself, where you're at in real estate, and then also let's talk about goals for 2022. What are your real estate or personal goals for 2022? We did that in the morning session, and I know we have some different people on the evening session. So I'd like to talk about what's a goal that you would like to hit in 2022. If you speak it out loud, it tends to come true. And if you put a date on it, you could ask Gabe about this. It typically will happen around that date time that you put on it. And it has to be something that's kind of a little measurable. How are you going to achieve that goal too? I want to be a better business person. Well, okay, give a definition of what you think a better business person is. I myself have some financial goals I want to hit, and I'll talk about that. But what'll happen on your screen is going to pop up breakout room. You click to join. We'll be in there for 10 minutes. There'll be a countdown when there's like 1 minute left. And then we're all going to come back to here. After we come back to here, then we're going to do questions and answers. So, Andy, when you're ready,
we'll come back in at 8:10. So
8:10.
Everybody look at your clock. We'll be back in our rooms at 8:10.
Thanks. 2 minutes each, everybody.
All right. We are going. Hold on 1 second here.
Okay, doesn't look like Greg will be joining us. Okay, so Greg's out too.
A couple people dipped, so I just moved the rooms around. And I'll move around bodies. Here we go.
If you could do this, put everybody who's not on video, put them in the same room together. That would be interesting.
Oh boy. All right. Anyway, I'm not moving people around yet. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Really, Scott?
Hey, you don't get on video. It's like
I'm
going
on
to a
video.
It's like going to a FFREIA meeting with a shopping bag on your
You
head.
can see my face.
I
It
can't
counts.
see your face. All I see
Yes.
is a hat brim. That's all I see.
Listen, you
I
see
hope
my nose, my lips, part of my eyes.
I hope I'm not in the room with you. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Andy, what the hell is this?
You're back out in the main room. So this is
Oh,
breakout
good.
rooms. This is breakout rooms. So you're not in a room with anybody right now.
Oh, good. I get to do what I'm doing over here, right?
Yeah, you're fine. You don't have to participate, Carl. You're fine.
You know what I'm doing?
I don't.
Right now, I'm filling out all my 14-day pay or quit notices.
Ugh.
Serving tomorrow. I got
Come on.
35 of it. Yeah, 35 of them.
Come on. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's ugly.
Well, it has to happen because the moratorium was lifted.
Yep.
We had to see it ahead.
You have to
We
move
gotta
forward.
do what we got to do.
Yep.
Right.
You got to move forward. All right. What am I going to do? I'm going to bounce. I got a couple more people dip. So I'm going to move Leon to 4. I'm going to move Leslie to 6. There we go. right, I'm gonna hop down to room 3 real quick.
On my first 2-unit, and really excited because
That's
it's
great.
a lot of people were going for it, and it's my first time. It's my first house I've ever bought, so I'm definitely surprised they got it. But yeah, so I plan on renting out 1 unit, living in the other one for a year, and then renting that out. That way, it will be a house that pays for itself. But this year, my goals are to put together a team of, most importantly, remodeling kitchen company, floor, electrician, plumber, paint, drywall, and I just want to start flipping houses to the max I can, which I believe the law is you can only get 10 loans per year. So if I can get to a point 2 to 3 years from now where I'm flipping 10 houses per year, that would be a good capital gain to fund my desire to rent out apartment buildings after 3 years. So,
Right. Nice.
so just got to find a lender or an investor. So.
Or both. Usually people have multiple lenders and they don't pay any attention to that 10 loan rule because they don't use bank financing. So
Hey,
most flippers avoid banks like the plague. And then they're uncapped.
Okay.
And they also avoid general contractors and people who sell their services. So when you're building your team, it's more about who everybody else is using than necessarily dealing with people who specialize in one category or the other, because you won't make any money if you're paying those guys. Let's put it that way. You need to operate as your own general contractor, and you're right about finding a team, but it's not going to be like, I'm a professional drywaller and I work for, apartment complex builders and home builders. It's not going to be those guys. Very, very expensive. That's my wheelhouse, and
perfect.
You won't have any margin left. You'll make nothing, but you'll pay everyone else.
Okay.
That's how that would go. Because those guys mark up everything, including labor.
So real quick then, property managers, I believe that's the right term. Do they provide all those services? Like they contact people? So that's who I need to talk to.
So property managers usually do most of that stuff in-house. They hire their own team of people so they control costs, because they can't make money if they're hiring it out.
Okay.
So when we're looking at, like, I'm working on that 300 unit apartment complex and we've got 100 flips that we need to do by August.
Yeah.
They're GCing everything and using internal labor for 90% of it.
Okay. All right.
Because you can't make money, can't be profitable if you're paying somebody all the overhead and management fees and all the other stuff that goes into it.
Right.
So
right.
yeah, it's apples and oranges from a business model, unfortunately. So, because they don't want to be bothered, even if it's production, they know their margins are going to be low. They probably won't even talk to you unless they think they can rake you over the coals.
Okay. How would you, I know I only got 2 minutes. How would you, like, for the past year, I've been looking at deals, researching the deals, and looking at the surrounding houses that recently sold, what they sold for. So I feel like I've got at least the bare minimum amount. I got a lot to learn still for finding the right deal. What property management company would you recommend if I did find a deal and got the numbers and got to them and see if they would be interested?
Well, usually property management company is going to want you to already have the deal under contract and have it signed. Sometimes they'll have guys they can give you to work on a flip. If you're going to let them manage it afterwards, they're much more likely to work on it. If you're looking to flip and hold, like if you're looking to buy it, turn it, and rent it yourself, if you're just looking to flip, you're going to have to find, like, property management companies are good because they do have guys outside. They'll know the industry, they'll know the market, they'll know who's good, but they're probably not going to do all the work. You're going to have to find, individual, like, crews of guys who are good. Like painters are a dime a dozen, so you'll find plenty of painters. You might find guys who finish drywall. Drywall hangers gets a little bit tougher. Insulators gets a little bit tougher. Electricians and plumbers get hard because most of the mom and pops don't hire that out. They are using internal labor. So, like, if you look at Gallagher Property Management Vendor, they use internal labor. They don't hire out electricians. They don't hire out plumbers. They have guys in-house that do all that and pull the permits. You look at You're probably not gonna be doing any framing. Roofers, a lot of them do it in-house, just because of comp. Like you hire a roofer to do a job, their insurance is legitimately, their workers' comp is 3 times what it is for a property manager.
Wow.
So they're generally outrageously expensive. So property managers will usually do that in-house. And they might do a side job, like Pat Gallagher this year had extra crews, and he was letting his crews go out and do roofs for other property managers and for other people flipping houses and everything else, just so that he could keep them busy. Because he
Okay.
didn't have anything for him to do. So he hired that part out, or hired his crews out. And he has the right insurance and all that other stuff. But because they're not full-time roofers, his comp is 3 times less expensive, or 1/3 the price of the other guy's comp. So, but flipping houses and hiring everything out, you won't leave any money for yourself. So like, if you want to talk about flipping, talk to Joe LaBarbera. He doesn't say it, but he's probably the largest wholesaler in Rochester from a volume standpoint. And he won't buy a house if it's not 50 cents on a dollar. So if the house's ARV is 135,000, he won't pay more than 60, 65 tops. And that's all in.
Right.
And then, it might need 20 or 30. If he doesn't have 30% margin on top, so like if he needs to spend, if he buys a house for 60, ARV is 130. If he has to spend more than 30, 40,000 to get it up to that ARV, he won't do it.
Right.
So he's the guy, and he'll have contacts too.
Yeah, that's what I came up with. Is he on this meeting tonight or no?
That's Joe SRI. That's Joe LaBarbera. So he's the guy. He's the host. He's also the biggest wholesaler in the city. He's the guy whose face is on all the billboards with the 1855 Joe Buys posters all over. You drive down 490, you see his face. You go downtown, he's got a full size, like 12-foot tall, standing freaking poster of himself standing next to a sold sign. Like he's everywhere. So he's the guy to talk to for a lot of that stuff, because he can help you find deals. He's a wholesaler, so he'll get deals that he's looking to sell people. If you're looking for stuff that's more suburban, that becomes a higher order, because everybody wants stuff in the burbs because the cities are painful. So yeah. But yeah, by painful, I just mean all of the tenant turnover and restrictions and comps and all that stuff. It's a little bit tougher. You buy a house for 15 grand, you're getting a house that's worth 5 grand maybe right now. And then you got to dump 10 or 20 into it. You hope to God that it lasts longer than 3 years before you're doing it again. So yeah, there's some rough neighborhoods right now that are up for sale in vast swaths, Avenue C, Avenue E, Avenue D. New investor, you should probably stay clear of it, because if you go down there, you're probably never going to want to flip a house again.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
Avoid the letters. So there's neighborhoods in Rochester where people will be like, oh, if it's, and the people who've been doing it for a long time will go, okay, if it's Polish names, it's okay. If it's Italian names, it's okay. If it's this, avoid it. If it's a lettered road, avoid it. If it's a numbered road, it depends on the zip code. Like they'll have that stuff all broken out and be like, good here, not good here. So yeah. There's a lot of knowledge in this group. So, and it's just about do the networking, find out who they're using. You'll find almost 0 people are doing anything when it comes to kitchen people. They're using Brennan's for cabinets. They're getting countertops from Barrett. They're getting, electrical from Home Depot, and then having somebody install it themselves. Like they're not hiring electricians and plumbers and cabinet people and all that, because they never make any cash. I can tell you right now, the margin on cabinets, if you go to like a Home Depot or a Lowe's, or you hire a McKenna's or somebody like that to do it, their margins are like 48% markup above their cost and their labor. Like they make bank. And they're not going to do a deal for you based on volume.
No.
So yeah.
Oh yeah. All about profits. All right. I'll let you speak now.
I don't know. I'm pretty easy. I'm a consultant. It's what I do. I'm a procurement consultant. I work with property managers. I've been in selling to builders and property managers since 1997. So if there's a developer or a builder or a property manager in Rochester or Syracuse, I probably have dealt with them, know of them, worked with them directly, worked for them, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, that's what I do. I help them make more money because they don't have anybody internally that watches what's going on the way I do, because it's my full-time job, and even their buyers don't watch it because they get spoon-fed stuff that they need, and they get spoon-fed by vendors what they should be, what the vendor wants to sell them. Because guess what? If they sell them something that's theirs, they make money. If they say my stuff is junk and it's going to cost you more in the long run, they're not going to sell anything. So they're not honest right off the bat. So immediate conflict of interest taking advice from your vendors when it comes to what to use and where to use it. So, because if they tell you the truth, sometimes they don't get paid. And I don't know anybody who's in business to not get paid. So that's where the neutral third party comes in. And I'm gonna end the breakout room right now. There we go. All right, so we got 60 seconds. People can exit or not. Hi, Marlene, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. We got a meeting tomorrow morning. I'm gonna get off this at like 9:30, and then I'm gonna immediately go out to the living room, grab a drink, sit on the couch for 20 minutes, and go to bed. And get up and be on a call at 10.
And I'm going to try to get my grandson to sleep by 10 in order
Good
to
luck.
be at the he does not want to stay asleep.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Not a big deal. There are tougher challenges out
I know.
there. As long as they're healthy and happy, that's half the fight. So
Yeah, he's not a cranky little boy, so that's okay.
good.
He's
Yeah.
awake.
Yep, that's good. And eventually he'll be old enough where he can entertain himself.
I don't know Peter's breakout room. I'm like, well, that's kind of pointless because I can't talk and there's no camera or mic on the desktop. So I just kind of like just went over there and I'm like, okay, now what I'm doing.
Yeah, we improvised for that one because there was a bunch of people who didn't join and a bunch of people that were not actually people, like double computers and systems. So we had to move people around, which is why I gave it 2 extra minutes because like Carl didn't join. He stayed in the main session. I think neither one of the FFREIA accounts, one of them was Joe McGuire. They didn't join any rooms. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to shuffle things around again.
It's all right. We're back. It's all that matters.
And we added minutes, so hopefully nobody got shortchanged. We added
Well,
2. So
we are back. So, all right. Well, welcome back, everybody. And hope that was beneficial and eventful. And I hope everybody got something out of it. I know I did in my room. I was lucky enough to be in a room with Gabriel, Brandy, and Leslie. And I got some really good updates from those guys and some really good goals. So I definitely hope they accomplish them all. So that was exciting. But now we go to the point where we do question and answers. New people, experienced people, ask questions. This is your time to ask. You got a room full of people with.
I think Scott froze.
He did.
That's a good still picture of him. I should take that, frame that. There he is.
Internet cut out again,
Carl,
Scott. You're back.
Okay. What's that form, Carl, that when you're buying a property that you should have the existing landlord and existing tenant sign before you take the property over?
You're talking about the estoppel?
The estoppel, thank you.
The estoppel certificate, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Leslie, did you get that? Is Leslie? Yeah, there he is. Yep, estoppel certificate.
Yes.
Never even heard of that. It almost sounds like Gestapo.
What is it? Established certificate?
Well, what that is, it's a certification form where the tenant signs on. They sign to verification of what the rent is, what the security deposit is, what the lease is. So a lot of times owners tend to skew the information at a closing, right? So this is a way to verify tenant information by tenant signing an estoppel certificate. And many of the attorneys require that, especially Peterson, right? So that is a requirement at closing for many of the closing attorneys. Right, Scott?
Yep. Yep.
Is there any repercussion if both of them just fudge information?
Whoever bought it gets screwed and could probably sue for misleading people.
I just did 4 of them on Saturday. So, and one, yeah, 3 on Saturday, 1 on Tuesday. So they're good to have.
So I guess it's kind of like the opposite. The same way, I guess you would try to lie and say you don't have any money to do your taxes. Sellers will exaggerate the money just to get a buyer. And this is just to kind of confirm what they're saying. It's estoppel.
Yeah. So they're basically saying, yes, I told you the truth. And if I was lying and you can prove it, I'm probably going to end up being liable for damages.
Good. All right. And let's see. Okay. So, Joe, did you want to talk about what you want to talk about earlier? How it's going to impact the market and all that?
Well, I don't know if anyone, I don't know if anyone had any questions. First of all, I mean, it's up to you. We can do that.
I have one quick question. For
Okay.
purchasing your first property, cash or finance, which is better?
That's a loaded question.
It is a loaded question.
Yeah. It all depends on, you know,
The numbers, Joe, the numbers. It all depends upon the numbers.
yeah. You know, it's, you know, some people, they can't do cash if you can't, you know. Some people who want to do cash, if they can close quickly and they get a discount, they'll do that and refinance it out. It all depends, Heather, on your situation. You know, we can't just give you a direct answer on that one.
Yeah, and it's going to vary from one person to the next because, you know, as Joe was saying there, it depends on the personal situation of the individual and where they are from a financial standpoint as well as a personal standpoint. So, and which one is better really depends on all those pieces. And then to Carl's point, it's the numbers. So, yeah.
Leon, if I may add, so back in the day, you and I were growing up together in the world of investing. It was all about OPM, right? Other people's money. And that was
Absolutely
the theme at the time, right? But yet, be careful with that. Very careful with that, because that's nice, but make sure the numbers work. That's where a lot of people got burned back in the day. They were over leveraged. They didn't really see the bigger picture of, you know, how that lending amount affected their cash flow. And yeah, a lot of people got burned. So be very careful with OPM.
Yeah, I mean, I think the situation that we're in right now is a good example, you know, and it, again, it depends on the numbers. It also depends on your strategy. Let's just say you decided that you were going to use other people's money and you were going to buy 5 properties. And all 5 of the properties that you bought, the cash flow was great, but they were all in C and D neighborhoods. And you know, you could find yourself in a desperate situation because when you start looking at the numbers, if you got 0 on one side of the equation, it's 0 on the other side of the equation. So if you're just looking at cash flow and those sorts of things, it's one of those things where basically you could end up in a very, very bad place because now you don't have the money to pay the mortgage. And so you got, as Carl was indicating, you got to be very careful about where you are from a leverage standpoint. And you got to sort of balance out the strategies to fit the real world that you're in at that particular point in time. But the real world can also change too.
Heather, quick question for you. What kind of property were you looking to either buy? Can you just elaborate just a little bit?
Sure. Yeah, we're just looking for basically like
single family or a double.
Yeah,
something
single
like
family,
that.
something that needed some rehab. We're more interested in the burr method. You know, that's how we've always bought our. We had 2 houses so far for our own properties, and we never bought the nicest house. We're comfortable with making repairs and working on those properties.
Now, do you guys go in and then refi them out afterwards? Is that what you?
That's what we're thinking. Yeah,
That's what we did with the home that we bought. We got it below asking price, and then we were on a balloon mortgage, and then refinanced, and did all that. So that worked out in our benefit. We're hoping to do that for our first investment property,
which is definitely much harder because this was 2 years ago. Just wasn't as hard 2 years ago to get somebody below asking price.
Mm-hmm. They're out there. You just
so the cash we're thinking is just an easier way to get the deal.
100% correct. 100%.
Can I ask her? I'm sorry. Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Kind of piggybacking off of what Heather was talking about. What about interest-only loans? What are your guys' takes on those? Where during the remodel, whether that takes 3 months or it takes closer to a year, you're paying just the interest on the loan. What is your take on that?
A lot of us have done interest-only hard money loans, as long as the numbers work.
Right.
In fact, you factor that in to your purchase price to make sure you cover yourself.
Right.
A lot of us have done that. I built my real estate on that.
So that's good. That's if the numbers work.
Yeah. I paid 12% many a times, interest only. On $100,000, that's $1,000 a month interest. But if you're at the end, if you factor that in, people are like, oh my God, you're paying $1,000 a month for 6 months. Yeah, but if I got to pay $6,000 in interest and I'm going to make $30,000 in profit, I'll gladly pay the $6,000.
Right.
As long as if you're going to borrow and you're only paying interest, you're going to make, the lender's going to make more than you. The deal's not worth it.
What would be the first step for alternative financing or anything? Will it be like to do some type of
you got to have you get the numbers on paper. What's it going to be worth? What's it worth now? What's it costing? How much work does it need? What's that cost? And what's it going to be worth at the end, or what's it going to cash flow? And that's, if you don't have those numbers, you won't even get them to answer the phone.
Yeah. And a lot of local lenders, if they know the area, and once you're established with them, you just pick up the phone. Okay. And it's that easy. It's crazy. It's crazy how easy it is once you're established.
Yep. They're going to want to know how much rent it's going to be worth. If it's going to be that type of property, they're going to want to know what it's going to sell for. If you're going to sell it, they're going to know what their cut is, interest rate wise, like all that kind of stuff. Like they need to make sure that whatever they're giving you money for, they're going to make what they need out of it, because it's got to work for both sides. Every business deal, it's got to work for the lender. It's got to work for the borrower. If the borrower is going to lose their butt, the lender knows he's going to get screwed. So if he looks at your numbers and he thinks the numbers are crap, he's going to say, I'm not going to give you any money because your numbers don't make sense. Like, your numbers you gave me make sense on paper, but when I look at the property and I look at what it's worth and what you're saying you're going to do to it and what you can cash flow on it, the math doesn't add up. You're not going to have any money to pay me back. So I'm not going to give you any money.
So
Yeah, just to interject a little bit around what Andy was saying, the numbers part, sometimes people make it a little bit more complex than it needs to be. And I'm not saying that Andy's doing it. I think all the pieces he talked about is important, but just fundamentally, the person who's loaning the money, the private lender, wants to make sure that the money that they are loaning you is as close as 100% safe as you can get, recognizing that you can't be 100% safe, okay? But so They want to make sure that the insurance is in place. They want to make sure that all the things associated with title and that those sorts of things are in place. But they also want to make sure that if you default, they're going to go, "Ah, great. Now I can take this property over and I'm going to actually get more money." Okay, not that that's their approach, but they know that that's something that can take place if you actually default. So if you had a property, let's give it an example. Somebody's.
If somebody got TV on in the background or something, please.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so if you have a deal and on that deal, you looking at it and the, you have after repair value of like $100,000. But on this particular deal, you need $40,000 or $50,000. Well, for that private lender, they know that their monies are fairly safe because they if they take it back, they have a fairly good cushion that they can operate with and still get back to being whole and solid. And that's summarizing it at a relatively high level. And people like Joe McGuire and other private lenders, they're probably cringing at this point. And the other thing to keep in mind is each one of them have their own view and approach and of how they're going to do it because it's private money. I know some private lenders, they won't lend because it's on this street. I know some other private lender, they won't lend because of the fact that they just don't like this person. Okay, and what you only talk to the person once. I just don't like them. Okay, and so it's private money, so they can to a large extent set their rules, particularly in the area we're talking about. Okay.
To the point as far as the local lenders, can anyone throw out some other recommendations? I know we mentioned Joe. Anyone throw out some recommendations that they would recommend locally as far as lenders?
Alex and Michelle Wheeler both do a bunch. Scott Spear does some, but I'm not sure where he stands. I guess he can chime in and say if he's doing lending right now or not. But Alex and Michelle do it. Alex and Michelle are actually the people I was talking about who will want to know the ins and outs of the deal and look at it and analyze it and see if they think you're telling the truth about the money you're going to borrow. They'll analyze the property, they'll analyze the deal, they'll look at everything, and they'll make sure it works and makes sense before they'll even entertain giving you any money.
Is it possible to put their contacts, or if they're on, can you guys?
They're all on the FFREIA website in the members section.
We're talking about that deal down in Cohoes. Yeah, Cohoes or Manans, down in Manans. Yeah. That's the garage conversion.
Yep.
Yeah, that's me, Cahoes, yes.
Yeah, I remember. Yes, yeah. Interesting concept. I mean, great hey, God bless you. I hope it works.
Yeah, there's a lot of ADU demand and there's a lot of financing and stuff for it, but it's really West Coast still largely. There's not a lot of it on the East Coast yet. We'll see more of it as the codes change and stuff, but there's a lot of building code issues. There's access issues. There's right of ways and other stuff, and it all has to be worked through for each municipality, and it's slow. That's all.
I did. Yeah, my fiance got the TVO, so I have to forgive him. But I did talk to someone. I think the engineer at Cohoes. It wasn't the guy who does like the code enforcement guy, but so I guess the city engineer or whatever. He was saying that if you're trying to rent it out as an Airbnb or make it as like an office or a meeting space or something that does the public, it's like so much red tape. It's like a whole can of worms you don't even want to touch. But he said if you just want to live there yourself, I mean, theoretically, I guess as an owner, if someone wants to live in their bathroom or kitchen, that's up to you as the owner. So it seemed like their standards are very lax and almost nonchalant. They say you just pay the percentage of how much your job will be done and call it a day, based on what he said. For if I just want to live there myself versus make it into an Airbnb and other things. And unfortunately, I know you were saying this hasn't caught up because like LA and other places, they even have grants for you to turn your place into an accessory dwelling unit.
Yeah, that's all to address the homelessness issues.
Move your house to LA.
There
Yeah.
you go. I teleported.
Teleported, it'll be worth $20 million. You just sell it and move back to New York and be a
There you go.
multimillionaire.
So, yes. I don't know.
Oh, don't move back to New York. You got to pay tax on that 20 million.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, no, move to Tennessee, Texas, or
Delaware
or
or
Florida, someplace where there's no income tax.
So, I don't know, Scott, is Scott still there?
Yep, I'm still
Oh,
there.
I lost you or not,
Yep.
just wanted to make sure.
Yep. I do have a question. This one's for Joe. Joe, when you're calling somebody on a wholesale deal and you're in the middle of the conversation, what do you do? And they hang up on you. What do you do?
Yeah.
I don't know, there's different things I've done. Sometimes I'll call back and I'll say, we must have gotten disconnected. You know,
They happened yesterday.
That happened to Gabe
Oh.
yesterday. And I told him, I said, that happens to Joe. He calls me right back, say, we're in the middle of an important conversation. Did something happen? I want to make sure you're okay. You know, this is an important conversation. So
I've done that. Then I got hung up a second time. And I'll call back. And I'll say, wow, the connection must really be bad. You know?
uh-huh.
You gotta be careful. I'm not telling anybody to do that, by the way. It really varies, you know. And
They must not know where you live. They'll probably curse you out the third time.
I tell them I'm from upstate New York, though, and I was in the middle of my conversation trying to make my presentation, and they actually said they want to sell the property, and then must not like my voice or something. I don't know. And they just said, "To hell with it. I don't want to talk to Gabe."
back. Call him back, Gabe.
Then I'll call back tomorrow. Then fine.
I would have called him right back, right then and there. So listen, something must have happened. I apologize. You know, and I have done this. Because Scott says, I hope you're okay. Is everything all right? I just wanted to make sure, you know, obviously we're talking about, you know, especially your deals. Listen, I say, look, obviously something must have happened because we're talking about hundreds upon hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash here. And so we got disconnected. So I want to be respectful and actually call you back, letting you know that I didn't hang up on you. Something must have happened with the call.
Okay. Okay.
Strength of language, Gabe. You got it.
I do. I know. I'll do it.
By the way, I know it's after 8:30, so.
Right. It's after 8:30. I can hang out for another 10 minutes or so. Anybody wants to drop off, you certainly can. This really ends our formal part, if you want to call this thing formal at all. Even it's more of a get together and share ideas and stuff. But yeah, if you want to stay on, ask questions, I'll hang out for another 10 minutes.
So will
if
I.
not, we'll just stand here and stare awkwardly at Andy McQuaid. So
No, we'll stare at Scott.
I will.
Excellent.
I'll throw something out there probably for Leon and Andy. I was poking around the website and I was trying to get a hold of Steve Peterson. And on the website, it gives the incorrect contact info. So I'm not sure last time we looked at it. Like actually, I went through like 3 different email addresses before I thought I got a hold of him. So I'm not sure how up to date some of the contact information is. Just want to get a heads up on that.
Well, since he never sends us an email when we ask for updates for that stuff, I'm not necessarily shocked that it's not accurate, but we'll take a look and get it taken care of. Is his phone number right at least? Hopefully.
Yeah, I think
the phone number was right. Yes, that got to the law office. Yeah, but I tried 3 different emails and I couldn't get anywhere.
I think, yeah,
that's not it.
I think that back maybe 6 months or so, maybe a little bit longer than that ago, Steve Peterson changed his email address because of the fact that he had some problems with people hacking into his just messing up his email stuff. So instead of just Steve, it's Steve P. You know, so Steve with the letter P after it, and then his address.
I was actually
Well, I
just
think
gonna
even
pull the
even
last
actually- I think
email
it's-
I had from him in my inbox.
I think the domain changed also. I think it's now like at PSN law as opposed to like it. I could look it
Yeah,
up, but I know
right.
I
Yeah.
noticed that it was off.
Joe, do you know
No,
what it
it
is?
did. It changed.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yeah, psnlawgroup.com.
All right.
And you were saying some of the private lenders, they're on the website contact list?
They're members, so like Alex and Michelle Wheeler, they're members. So if you go to the member list under resources, there's a members directory link. You just click that and it'll take you to the list of all the members who have chosen to opt in to having their names displayed. It doesn't say I'm a hard money lender because they're not vendor members, so we don't put them on the vendor list, right? The only vendor member who's officially a hard money lender that's on the list is Scott Spear, and he didn't actually speak up to say whether he was doing any hard money lending right now or not.
Besides, you don't really want to advertise it, Andy, because in New York, you can become a bank.
Oh, that's frightening too.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. As
So,
far as
really?
myself, I really don't do the hard money lending anymore. I'm really just focused on self-storage. So, but when I was doing hard money lending, I typically was 12%, 2 points, monthly interest payments. So if you borrowed 50 grand, I expected $500 a month, monthly interest payment on that. And then 2 points at closing. And this is all typical with hard money lenders. You pay the attorney fees, like the closing fees and stuff, which is probably, say maybe another $1,000 or something like that. So that's how I used to do it, but I really don't do any hard money lending anymore, unfortunately, because I'm not in Rochester. So, and I like to lend on properties I can see, touch, and feel, and make sure they're real.
Well, that would be the safest way. Is there anyone to help? I mean, that's a silly question, but like, you know, is there like a form? Is that on your website as well? A form that you can like fill in the, no. So you just have to know.
Every hard money lender has their own criteria and their own way of doing business, and they can say, I'm not going to lend to you because I don't like your face. I mean, that's the reality of hard money lenders. It's their personal money that they use to invest with. So they can make up any reason they want. They could be like, you know what? I had sushi for lunch. I'm not going to lend to you because the sushi's just not sitting right. And
Jeez, Andy, you make us all sound like bad people. Thank you.
Well, I mean, that's the reality of hard money lending. It's not like a bank where they're required to do certain things by federal law and equal opportunity, equal housing lenders and all that other stuff. It's an apples and oranges type of game. There's no standard forms. There's no standard applications. There's no standard interest rates. There's no standard payments. There's, you know, I mean,
That's similar to like if you're just renting out your room or basement to a roommate, you have way more leniency that if it's like a big apartment conglomerate where you have like all these rules, you can't, like you said, you can say, I don't like the way your food tastes, so I don't want to be your roommate or housemate if it's like 4 or less units.
Yep.
Yeah. What Andy, what I used to say when I gave the presentations was if you have 7 private lenders, you'll have 10 sets of criteria.
The truth. Absolutely. That's a good way to put it.
Is there a website? Because I just kind of was Googling it around. Is there something online that you guys can refer to say, at least like I have this sales pitch, if you want to call it, to give to people as a starting point? Or so I can know myself?
Not really. I mean, most of the people who come to the meetings and come to the groups, they tailor it to themselves. Like there's people who have their own scripts that they write. There's people who have their own forms and paperwork that they write for everything from purchase offers to you know, lending scripts to you name it. But they're all personalized. All we talk about here is just, you know, the basics of how to do it, the options, how everybody handles it on their own. And at the end of the day, everybody's responsible to talk to their team. So talk to their attorney, talk to their banker, talk to their, you know, mentor if they have one, talk to your real estate people. If you've got a broker you work with, talk to them and make sure that it works. Whatever deal it is that you're trying to close works for you.
Well, and I know you issued a whole list of stuff that they should look for, and I know. So what was, you said rents? I mean, I'm just trying to like, I don't know, jot it.
They're going to want to make sure that the numbers make sense. So for a lender, for numbers to make sense, it's going to be, is this thing going to make money or is it going to be a hole? Right? Are they going to get their money out of it? You know, is there already a mortgage on the property? They're not going to lend to you if there's already a mortgage on the property because they're in second position.
Okay.
Well, you can't always say that.
Wow. If they can get their money out,
99
if they can
times
get their
that's
money out
true.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
True,
basically,
but-
bottom line, to answer your question, is it a great deal? Yes or no? And that's all you got to ask yourself. And everything else will follow through. Okay? All you got to ask. And
Would I do it? Would I do it myself as a lender? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, would you put your money in?
Yeah. And is there? And by the way, I know we got a few more minutes. I don't know if anyone else has a couple quick things they want to add on here.
But yeah, I got a question. So I want to know where I can find buyers and like trying to have like someone to look at a property for me and see like what's the value or how much it really worth, to let you know, just to see the property and stuff like that.
Rohan, you talking about properties
Joe
here?
buys right there.
Yeah, in
Yeah,
Rochester.
You
I have
wanna
the
answer, Rohan or Rohan?
yeah. It's a four family mansion property also too.
Anybody have advice for him?
I mean, this is the right place to ask because there's a lot of people in here to do it. Finding a mentor who's been doing this for years in this market and knows the street names and knows the areas and has that information and can pull it together. I mean, you're in the right place. I don't want to speak for anybody, but there's people on this call who do it.
Yep. So that's what I'm here for. So
yep.
You look, Rohan, you looking to do what again?
Oh, so I'm trying to wholesale a property right now. It's a four family mansion property, and I just need someone just to look at it and just to see what's like the value of it really worth right now.
Yeah, you're wholesaling. So I think that would be a Joe. Joe, you might be more adept to.
Yeah, Rohan, you're more than welcome to give me a call anytime. We can go over properties,
All right.
Until you learn, because you have to learn the streets and things like that. And usually we can, we can sort through them pretty quickly. Okay.
All right. That's the deal.
Rowan, oh, can y'all hear me?
Yep,
Sorry,
hi,
I have a toddler playing with a fake jackhammer. Rowan, I would say too, if you get onto Facebook, there's a couple of Facebook groups. There's like Upstate New York Realtors, there's the Rochester Realtors, that kind of stuff. And anytime someone posts having a property, there's hundreds of responses saying, I want more information, add me to your buyers list. Social media is going to be one of the easiest ways for you to get those buyers and to create that buyers list.
All right, so it's called Upstate Reality.
Yeah,
There's Facebook groups. One is RE Coffee Club. Is one of them.
I don't even have that one.
Yeah, RE Coffee Club is one. There's another
Upstate
one that's called
New York
Upstate.
Real.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that one. So Upstate New York Real RE Investors. There's the
local one.
There's a Rochester one. I can't remember the name of it right now. Rochester Real Estate Source.
Rochester Real Estate.
Yeah, Rochester Real Estate Source.
So you said Real Estate Coffee Club, Upstate New York
It's just
Realtors?
RE. It's just RE Coffee Club. It's Rochester centric. It's a group of people who pre-pandemic were meeting up in a local Wegmans every Wednesday at 7:30 in the morning. Right, Scott?
Yeah, but are they still doing that?
They're not meeting there anymore. No, because of the pandemic stuff. Wegmans basically kicked us out. So, but that's like Matt Druin and Marty Grisanti, and it was Brett Awanowitz until Brett moved to Guatemala.
Target every time I see it.
Oh, there you are. Nice guy.
Yeah. Brett moved to Guatemala. He was helping to run it. Well, he's moved to Guatemala. So I don't know when they meet, but yeah, I think it's on Facebook. It's Real Estate Coffee Club or something like that.
Yeah, it's RE Coffee Club, but they actually met for the first time in like 3 months last night. So they went out last night for drinks. So
yeah, I mean, another approach quite similar to what you're talking about. And it was certainly done in the pre-social media days, and that is you build a relationship with a real estate agent or broker, and you call them, and then they work through the deal with you or on the location of it, what the after repair value is, and those sorts of things. So you begin to build up your level of knowledge around a particular area. And all they ask in return is that you basically use them when you get ready to buy the property or you get ready to sell it.
Good idea as well. I could probably use the Facebook as well as what you said about a realtor for financing advice as well, right?
Yep, they'll have visibility. Just make sure that they're full-time. They're not part-time. They don't do it as a gimme. They're, if they're working in a grocery store or they're sitting as an accountant in a bank somewhere, you don't want to deal, or it's your cousin, you don't want to deal with that realtor. You want to make sure that they're full-time and that they deal with investment grade properties as their bread and butter. If there's somebody who's selling $650,000 homes in Saratoga Springs, that's not the realtor you're going to talk to.
Right. So Ron, hopefully it gave you some good insights.
Yeah, I write them down and stuff like that.
Perfect. And feel free to call me on stuff like that, just like you did on that other deal. We get calls all the time. We try to help each other out through this group.
All right.
And,
Thank you very much, Joe.
There's a lot of other people on here that can also help you out too.
Yeah, I will be talking to Carl also too.
What was that, Ron?
I said I was gonna be talk to Carl also, because Carl said he do it too.
He's a wealth. He's like a wealth of information.
Carl's probably
managed
managed
all of us.
Yeah, Carl's probably managed half the single families, duplexes, and quads in Rochester in the last 40 years. Not to date you at all there, Carl, and show your gray for you, but
he's not even here to defend himself.
Oh, really? He left?
Yeah, he left. Yeah.
Oh,
but yeah, Rohan, he'd be a good one to reach out to.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And his contact info should be on the website because he is a vendor member.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna write his number down.
Uh-huh.
All right, Steve's information on the website is updated. I just did that, so that's done. So now Steve Peterson has good information on the website again.
I'll tell him at 7:30 tomorrow morning that he needs to send an email.
There you go.
7:30. His day is half over with by 7:30 in the morning.
In the morning?
It's funny. He will. Sometimes I'm going to bed when he's getting up. We've exchanged emails like that because I stay up late, and it's so funny. I'll send an email at 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock. Also, I get a reply. I'm like, "What are you doing up?" He goes, "I'm at work already."
Yeah.
But he's serious. I mean, in my opinion, he's covered my butt on a lot of deals. Steve has. There's deals he's like, I'm not telling you not to buy this, but I highly suggest that you don't. And when he says that, I'm like, I'm out. Nope.
Yeah. Joe's a great one to bounce that kind of stuff off too. He did that for me yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah, I made the mistake of asking him if he flipped houses.
Oh yeah, Scott.
Oh my God, I texted him and he called me and was like, Lisa. I got yelled at.
Oh,
yeah, for sure.
Asked me, she goes, Joe, do you flip houses? Have you ever flipped a house? I was so appalled. I couldn't even text back. I literally had to call her.
I owe you a bottle of whiskey, Joe.
Oh, holy smokes.
Just before people sign off, make sure you're pulling all the data out of the chat box. If you've been in here for this entire meeting, the chat box is like 40 something lines long. Make sure you open it and get the information down. And if you're asking for help, specifically new people like Rohan, like Amy, like anybody else, put your contact info in there with your first and last name so people can get a hold of you. Okay, so you're going to open the chat box, the little bar of controls at the bottom of your screen or the top of your screen, depending on what you're looking at. Hit the chat button, open that up, and pull the data out and share your data before you log out.
All right.
Just gonna say real fast, I'm looking at the Facebook thing. I can't find any of these groups. Just something for realtors, like real estate people, not investors or anything. I don't know.
All right. Well, I'm going to sign out. everybody. So you all, I'll see you. If you come on the morning thing, I'll see you, I think, in a couple weeks.
2
So
weeks? Oh, 3
yeah,
weeks.
first Thursday in February. We'll be back on at, what time we start, Joe? 9 o'clock in the morning?
9 o'clock in the morning, first Thursday in February.
Okay. See y'all later. Have a good night, everybody.
Guys.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Everybody have a great night. Go do real estate. Thanks, Andy.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.
I want that mansion.
All right.